But for now, I'm going to come back over to Ring of Regeneration. It is favor run time. So we're going to go as far as we possibly can. We've got a large potion of speed. We're going to do click damage. And we're going to see how much favor we can earn. I'm not putting any money into click damage. We got a fire breath potion going. So we're just gonna level up champions and go as far as possible. Because we do not have a lot of favor here. But we're gonna need a lot more than we got. And we do, normally the first time you do Ring of Regeneration, you would want to push deep. Unfortunately, the first time we did it, we were kind of at the end of a stream, so we just took what we got. And then when we did the next one, Seeking Allies, we only had about an hour. So again, couldn't really do a deep run. So coming back to do a favor farm. And we'll see what happens. We'll go ahead and pop this Daddy's chest. Will give us another... Oh, this will give us an epic. We're at our pity timer. Boom. Flowing Cloak of the Respected Wizard for skill empowerment. Nice. Nice. So he needs 2 more chests. 2 more gold chests. Or, arguably, we just leave him and he fills up slowly with Electrums over time. Which may be what we do. It's probably what we're going to do. Yeah. Because then we're going to come over here to Briv. We're going to come over here to Briv. This is going to be interesting because we're going to have Briv and Nayeli in this. We'll end up moving back a bit, actually. Do this. Like this, maybe? No, we're going to do it like this. Wait, like this. Like this? Like this. Yeah, like this or like this? Is it better like this or like this? And this is going to be in... No, we can't use Briv. Gotta do new player formations, dang it. Okay, here we go. Back to the other one. I want to do this more from a new player perspective. People might not have Briv. People might not have Briv when they're doing this, so I don't want to confuse people. However, we are getting into the part of the game where eventually we're going to have to start using more event champions. And, mine may vary from yours if you're trying to do this as well, but you just got to find the good swaps in your formation and run with them. In this case, the good swap for me would be Briv, but... But we can do this just fine like this. So we shall. So we shall. Life to main because we're 2 columns back. Yeah, it's not a... This isn't a horrible restriction. You can do most, if not all, of the content. Well, most of the content here. You could potentially do all of the content here in Tomb of Annihilation with core champions and whatever evergreens you've unlocked so far. It would just take a lot of favor. It would take a lot of favor. When you get into some of the variants, like especially trying to unlock Dragon Bait, having some solid event champions can be a big deal. For Dragon Bait specifically, I'll still want Calliope. I won't use Briv, but yeah. So not, I don't have a lot of I'll be honest, a lot of the champions that I've unlocked for it, well, all the champions that I've unlocked, the event champions that I've unlocked so far, aren't really going to help me with Dragon Bait. Dragon Bait is going to be the hardest variant in this campaign that we'll be doing in this first run through. Because Darius is in slot 5. We need Calliope for Calliope is just OP, Calliope OP for the Dragon Bait unlock. So Briv and Darius don't do anything for us, and the Dark Urge is single target when it comes to an armored enemy, and the boss isn't armored, so not helpful at all for that fight either. We're going to want to run Ashara DPS for that fight. And we'll just have to look. So that actually informs some of the decision I'm going to make when I choose champions. We got Cthulhu, we got Regis, Alindra, and Rosie. I will have to take a look at them. Are they going to help me with Valindra, Shadow Mantler? It's a good question to ask. Or are they going to help me buff Ashara in ways? Well, so Alindra is out. I'm not going to get Alindra right away, or Alindra's not going to be helpful for that fight because Alindra's in Ashara's slot. Whoops. Regis wouldn't... Well, I'm going to have to look at Regis's new rework. Regis's old rework... Regis's old, under the old system, wouldn't be the healer we need. Celeste, that full heal on Celeste is kind of a big deal. It's just crit-based heals. Yeah, I don't think Regis is going to be a helpful for that variant either. So Cthulhu instead of Brunor might actually be better because Brunor can't stack. We won't have any enemies stacking up on tanks. So using like the bigger buff off Brunor is going to be there. But Brunor's gear right now probably just keeps him as the option that we would want to run. He's just got decent gear. But who knows if we were to run some stuff for Cthulhu. So Cthulhu possibly on the table. Let me take another look at Cthulhu. Cthulhu help more than Brunor. Cthulhu would be taking money from us. But Cthulhu has a situation that creates effectively a double DPS situation. That might help us with Valindra. If we could somehow make it so that... I don't know, this would be very difficult. If we could make it so that Hitch was getting the second DPS, we'd get a lot of chunks off the boss. But I don't know if that's possible. I don't know that that's possible. Oh no, Rosie's actually... Rosie Beestinger has an ability. But normally, like in D&D, it's you're catching an arrow, like you're catching a range projectile, and throwing it back at the target. But in Idle Champions, that functionality works for magic attacks as well. She makes the damage, you effectively dodge the damage. Oh no. Rosie might be an option to pick up on this account at this point in time. Simply for that dodge against... Nope, can't do it. Because she's in slot 10, and that's where Tyrell is. And we need the health from Tyrell tank, so never mind. There's a thing there, but I can't give up a tank right now at this point in my progression. Because you need at least 2 tanks to go into that fight. But there is something interesting there with Rosie. Technically, she could help you dodge that. Dritz is going to be useful. We have Dritz. Dritz makes enemies miss occasionally on their attacks, and so having this specific boss miss would be a big deal. Unfortunately, that would be the only thing he'd be bringing in, which is a problem. Did I manage Dragon Bait unlock using only core champions? No, the one time I tried it, I did not have enough favor. I just felt limited by favor, though. The functionality of the champions was there. I couldn't level them up enough at the time. The minimum that I got, the least that I was able to get things to in terms of what I needed to unlock Dragon Bait, to beat Valindra, was one event champion. Like, I figured it out. I could put in one event champion, but that event champion had to be Krull. I could use all other core and evergreen champions as long as I had Krull in. Which is why Krull is a big early pickup. Another reason Krull is a big early pickup for a new player account. He can be the only event champion you use in that Dragon Bait unlock, and is enough. Otherwise, you need multiple solid event champions to come in and swap out for potentially suboptimal champions. Strix is a tiefling for Potpourri, but Strix is in slot 11, and I already have 2 champions in slot 11, so it doesn't help me towards split the party. But yeah, if you ground the last few hours just to be able to get past it with a core formation, it's because you just needed more favor. You just needed to go into that fight with more favor, and you would have been fine. So that's what we want to try to do here. Like, we're building a foundation. I only have EO4 favor, but this run is going to be about trying to start. It's going to be our first big favor run, and we're going to have to do a lot of them on our way to what effectively will be the last variant we do here, which will be unlocking Dragon Bait. Free shield and swap back to Briv. For the duration of that fight, that doesn't. You're there a while. You need the shields for quite a while. Briv is suboptimal for that fight. I know people beat it with Briv, but that means they've overpowered it, and they could have easily just breezed through it with Calliope. Miria would be, well, no, Miria wouldn't be useful at all, actually, in the Dragon Bait unlock. Again, I'm not picking her because slot 12 is going to be Azaka for my second. But Miria wouldn't help me at all because there is no tank line in the Dragon Bait unlock. That front line, this single thing, is filled with an NPC. And this is considered the front line for Miria, not this. This doesn't matter if something's blocking this, so Miria would be useless. It's the best spec for Krull, by the way. Trader of Pain. Pilfer. Pilfer in almost all situations. The only time you actually would use Trader or Pain, and in those cases I usually go Pain, is if you know you can overpower whatever you're doing and you just want a little more damage up front. You would generally go Pain. That makes that first hit bigger, and thus the amount that pulses out from Trader is bigger, but yeah. But if you can't, I want that initial damage, so if don't have as many leftovers, right? Hey, Lediath. Welcome back. I finished tier 1 of all 3 of the champions that I have unlocked first. We are now moving back into Tomb of Annihilation. Yeah, the Dragon Bait. I know a lot about the Dragon Bait variant. The Dragon Bait variant is my favorite variant in this game, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the most optimal situations for it, and shielders are number 1 on your priority list because preventing damage from Valendra is more important than trying to heal it, because healing is just not great. You still want a healer to kind of top off anything that might go through the shields, like if she actually does a couple meteor swarms right in a row, you just get unlucky. But yeah, there are a lot of very specific kind of hacks, if you will, to make everything very straightforward when you're trying to do that fight. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult at all. Just failed Dragon Bait yesterday. Whee! Was it because you didn't have enough favor, Lydia? That's what we were just talking about. That's kind of the big deal going into that fight. Because I have finished it with as little of favor as E18, but I had multiple strong event champions to help me out, so I don't recommend going in that low. You need to be in the E20s, E22, E25. You know, the higher into the E20s you get, the easier it's going to be. But the lower the favor you have, the more strong event swaps you need, and the more of an ideal formation you need in terms of shielding and healing, and like a combination of shielding, healing, and tanks with a multi-hit champion. And then you got to time your ultimates correctly. A lot of people just fire off their ultimates right away at the start of the fight, thinking, well, I want them back for the end. And no, that just races you into the high damage portion of Valendra first. So you actually want to hold off on them and not use them at all until you've worn through as much as possible and someone's about to die, and then you start firing them all off to try to get that last minute push through all of her health. I was showing you Delana yesterday from the Electrum. Oh yeah. Oh, it ended up on Lender. It was a display error? Interesting. That's still, there's a bug. There's still a bug that needs to be fixed. Still a bug that needs to be fixed. So hopefully they get to that. I want this tooltip. I want it to show me my active potions. Like, hey, you show me stuff over here. Give me one of these that shows me my active potions. So it's in the quality of life list. The sooner that happens, the better. I'm just kind of upgrading haphazardly because I don't really... We're going to be going, I feel like, fairly deep. Yeah, we're still a ways off from where we'd be slowing down, I feel like. Plus, we're going to be using more potions to try to milk as much out of this run as possible. I wish I had epics, but I don't right now. Saving that. I have one epic fire breath, and I'm saving this one for that dragon bait unlock. Fire breath potions are another thing that are key in that variant. Specifically to keep all the endlessly streaming trash mobs that she spawns off the screen, so that every single one of your attacks and ultimates lands on her is a big deal. It's a big deal. Moonbeam. Moonbeam. This is better than giving the game giving the shiny to Valindra instead of Alindra. Yeah, that would be like, wait, you mean that's not the same person? Hmm. Sounds so similar. Now I want a game where someone made like just an outrageous number of clones of Alindra, and the names are just, obviously that's Alindra, and this is the first clone of Alindra. It's Balindra, and then there's Kalindra, and then there's Dulindra, and then there's Alindra, the E's silent, and then there's Falindra and Gulindra and Yalindra, which is with an I, and then it's Hulindra with an H. Like, they're just very uninspired about how they named all the clones. Yalindra talks with a southern accent for some reason that no one can figure out. They're like, wait a minute, what even is a southern accent? What? Yeah, 25 clones. Someone made 25 clones of Alindra. An oddly specific number. Why'd you stop at 25? Ran out of things to name them. Ran out of things to name them. Hey, Onyx. Oh, wow. Twin girls, Christine and Christina. That's rough. I grew up with, like, there were 3 girls across the street, and all their names started with an A. All of them. And I'm like, wow. Like, you couldn't have just done, like, you couldn't have done an A, a B, and a C? Like, yeah. Nope. First you start a cult, now you're cloning? What do you mean? First I start a cult. How do you know the cloning didn't happen first? Ad break. Yep, oh, we do. We're almost at 1,000. We'll wait. In about 45 seconds, and we'll be back from the ad break. Go. Alright, we're back. I mean, my 2 brothers' initials are all BSS. See, that makes things difficult. I mean, I guess it's great for hand-me-down clothes that you, like, put your initials in. Don't got to change that when you hand them down, but... yeah. We were 5 friends that always stuck together. Names were Susan, Camilla, and Camilla. It's close. When I was in college, I was part of an orientation team at one point, like for incoming students. And that year, for whatever reason, the vast majority, like there was just a large, I won't say the vast majority, there was a very large group of Jens. Jen, just Jen. That's her name. Whether it was short for Jennifer or not, like everybody went by Jen, and there were so many. It was so difficult. Like they got them all together once in a group, and like they did a thing, like a little skit where it was all Jen. Ugh, that was rough. It was rough. But like if you forgot someone's name, it was there was a pretty good odds that you could just say Jen, and they'd be like, yeah. That year. Back to Dragon Bait. Isn't Warduke and Myria viable? I mean, maybe, but I mean, what kind of new player is going to have Warduke and Myria at the same time? That's not. Warduke is not a new player friendly. I don't feel like Warduke's new player friendly, and Myria isn't generally either. Like Myria is usually for much deeper pushes, but yeah. I mean, again, there's all kinds of there are all kinds of combinations of event champions with different abilities that could make Valendra easy. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you want to do it with core champions, you need a lot of favor. And if you could only swap in one champion, if you're like, I just need one, I have enough to time gate one champion. What champion do I get? Krull. It's that easy. Yeah. So it must have been Jen farming. Oh no. Is Warduke friendly at all? No. Yeah. I guess I shouldn't say Warduke isn't new player friendly. Warduke just isn't friendly. But Krull is a cheat code for Valendra. Krull is a cheat code for early game favor and progression. Which really, I mean, I've got a bunch of time gate pieces. Krull should probably be somebody we time gate. Instead of Human, honestly. Early game progression. We've already got Briv. So early game progression, Krull would help a lot. Or Krull would make a lot of this easy mode. And honestly, it's a good recommendation. Just even if it's not someone that gets you a spot for split the party, if you've already got a swap in 6, Krull's just strong. Who's a true tutorial to Brunar? I mean, Brunar's the one that's in the game, so. Krull and Zorbu were your first 2 time gates? Once upon a time, that was the power couple. Yeah. Once upon a time, Krull and Zorbu were the power couple. You have those 2 champions were the first 2 anybody recommended because they just destroy all the content. They would destroy all the content. Now there are a lot more options. But Zorbu pairs well with Krull, but it also requires a lot of favor, right? Zorbu slot 12. You need a lot of favor somewhere already to be able to get them in and have them be competitive. How we doing? E43. Oh, we're at E43. Oh, I should have been upgrading more efficiently. Whoops. Didn't realize we were that close. But yeah, that makes sense. We only have EO4. We only have EO4 favor. We're already up to EO5 though. This is already a positive favor gain run. But we should be able to get a lot more. This is a pretty solid formation. Oh, what did I went potpourri. Whoopsie. This will be better. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope. Alexa was still in his zone. He was still in a better place than her, even with. Oh wow. Okay. This is the power curves are can be a little tricky. So right now she's throwing E43 down. She got an E44 hit, but Jarlaxle was throwing more than that, even though she wasn't even buffing him. Whoops. Whoops. Okay, I need to pay attention now. Alright, yeah, there's one coming up. Or hitch. Alright, so I don't really have any blessings here. We just have 100% extra damage and nothing else. So I don't have to worry about building a specific formation layout, but that is something you have to worry about later on as you get more blessings in Tomb. I think it's 475 is her next one. It is. To the next piracy upgrade. 500. Cool, not far off. Makos is like 65. Yeah, 65. That's a lot of levels for Makos. 330. Okay. We're going to unlock. Look at X100. I'm looking at X100 so I can see how many levels they basically have banked. And then I can just hold Alt down to see if I can get to the next one or not. But this lets me look like I know I need 65 more levels for Calliope, so I can just watch until this gets to 65 and then I can level it up. Because I don't necessarily, it doesn't help me to hit the little steps in between. It's only going to help me to get to something that's actually giving me a boost. I understand how Jarlaxle does so much more damage while having so fewer buffs. Well, he has self-damage, right? All of his stuff is self-damage boosts. Self-damage, self-damage, self-damage. Like, he's a very selfish champion. He's a DPS and gold find champion. So it's either some kind of self-damage or it's gold find. So yeah, he's just feeding himself power. That's how selfish DPS work. Dallin is a selfish DPS. The Dark Urge is a selfish DPS, right? That's how they function. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. Got it. Got it. So the champs are missing. Shadowheart, Presto, Will, next. Who should you pick? Oh, like time gating? Strongheart isn't as much of a priority anymore. Fen might be good. If you're doing patron challenges, Fen gives you extra credit for those. Fen might be a functional pickup that makes it so that you spend less time worrying about your time about patron challenge stuff every week. If you're looking for deep pushing power, Will has some interesting power. If you want to build around, it's a little challenging. Who else? Egbert is good for like gold farming formations, which are kind of what you run for Turn of Fortune's Wheel, or dirty gold farming at the end of a run. Egbert's got a solid gold find component. Strongheart is still... He's still got his mathematically overpowered ability. It's just he's lower priority now because he doesn't have any other... Doesn't have that season boost. That's not a functional thing anymore. Oh, yeah. Stuff like that. Jarlaxle will never get a rework. I want to be clear. They're not going to rework any more core or probably even evergreen champions ever again. If they give them any kind of a touch like they did with Dritz, it'll just be some minor boosts, but they're not getting reworks. Because if they gave them a rework, they'd have to give them a full dismantle. And people would abuse it. People would abuse it. So they don't want to deal with that. I feel like that's very clear that they just don't want to deal with that kind of situation anymore. Like happened with a shark. They don't want to see that again. So, yeah. Annihilate some health. Having unlocked the Dark Urge, why do you keep using Char for DPS instead? Because this is a new player, free-to-play playthrough. As I'm doing regular campaign-based content early on, I'm trying to use the core champions at Hitch or any evergreens you might have unlocked. So basically, I'm following like my new player reference, and that means, yeah, sure, I've got event champion stuff, and I may have to swap them in at some point, but if I can complete the content via the core champions, I'm going to do that here because these are all getting posted on the internet, up on YouTube. And this way, if someone's having problems, they can easily kind of look and see what was the formation I was using, or how did I modify it, or whatever in these runs. Eventually, we're going to get heavily into event champion formations, but at that point, I'll be talking about why you're using certain champions and for what. I was using like the Dark Urge and Dadius in the event, but that's because I was doing their event stuff, so that made sense, right? So I'm trying to make this as relevant as possible to as large a population as possible. Which means, to a certain extent, I'm restricting myself a little bit. They gave me a Jamila rework and never put items back on it. See, and there's the problem, right? All right, Meister Wilbur, have fun. Thanks for hanging out. But ultimately, I mean, you can build your formation however you want. Whatever swaps you have, if they're going to be a better swap them. Compared to this. This is just a starting formation. Yeah. Just understand why you're making changes, right? Protection 525. There's 65. Yeah, Jamila's just not. She got a rework a long time ago. And I just didn't really. It was back when they were trying to create like an archetype called a bruiser, which sat somewhere between a squishy and a tank. It just didn't really work. And she still sits in that category. But again, like the core champions are just supposed to get you started. You're supposed to swap to others, so they don't really want core champions to be competitive. Ashara was a mistake. Ashara was a mistake. No, Karlach is a tank. She has the tank tag. And she has health scaling. Jamila doesn't. Jamila just starts out with a little more health than you would normally have on a squishy. Kind of like Brunor. It doesn't actually help you tank past kind of the first stages. But Jamila isn't even like a first stage champion, right? But she was supposed to like soak up shields. Like she has a spec where she does better if you shield her. That was supposed to keep you alive, but that doesn't. But when shields like shields for Calliope, which is who you might be using her with initially. Cap at 3 times your health, so that doesn't help much. And then, like, you know, getting other shielding champions might give you some more solid shields, like an Antreus. But it's still not comparative to like what a tank would have health with a shield on top of it, right? Still not going to push as far as a tank would. Okay, how are we? Getting like 490. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're into the desert now. We're into the upgrade desert. 45. Parallax is pretty much done. I don't think he has another piracy anywhere within range. Next upgrade should be a Shara here. We'll just go ahead and throw some on her. And now that we're here, now I'm going to go champion damage and gold find and health. And we're going to try to... yeah, there we go. Back our butt a bit with Minsk Ultimate. See if we can milk out a bit more favor. What are we up to? EO6. Okay. Man. I keep thinking I'm going to get more, and we're just not. And we're just not. Oh, we're not going to get past this. Died. It died, it did. And we're going to die, it did it before we get Minsk's ult back, I feel like. Maybe. See if we can milk out some extra... a little extra time here. May have just made it. May have just made it. Oh, but there's... oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. That doesn't help. Fire Breath is doing way more. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it, coach. Alright. So, where are we going next? Oh, well, right here. Another double damage upgrade. Now, part of our progress stall here is going to be that we have favored enemy undead. And yet there are beasts on the screen, right? So we can spike our butt off the undead that Minsk creates. And then the Fire Breath pushing is going to help us push through and farm some kills. But the boss levels are going to be our stall. I don't know if we'll get past the next boss. We'll see. Because we don't create any undead on the boss levels. 550. It's 345. Give me the rest. 515. Wow, never mind. Didn't want to see that. Didn't want to see that. 310 for damage of all champions. Minsk. Not a lot of... we're going to get this next upgrade on Bruner here. There it is. See what the boss looks like. E56 health. So the boss is going to be E58. But we have undead here. Is the boss undead too? Nice. So we might be able to get through this. We might be able to get through this. It's slow. Because they got a lot more than what we're putting out. And we'll Minsk ult once we get down to... there we go. Now we'll Minsk ult. Boom. Spiked it up to E54. Hello, Skaven Raven Maven. Welcome to the stream. We're using the until next upgrade option. So right now, what I'm looking at is... Because I don't just want the next upgrade. Like, here's the next upgrade. And for Ashara, this is great, because it's self-damage, so we'll take that. But all these others are self-damage too, and that doesn't help my formation out at all. They're not the ones doing the damage, Ashara is. So... I have it on X100 so I can visually see how many levels, like in the parentheses, they have in the bank. Like how many could I put into them with the amount of gold that I have? And then I look over here at like where is their next group effect that's going to help Ashara do more damage. We're at 500. It's going to be like 550 for a Celeste. So I know I need to bank 50 levels before I put anything into her. And then I'll look at all the others, like when is their next one and who's coming first, and I'll go for whatever's going to give me the most bang for my buck first. Unfortunately, like right now, we're running out. We're running out of potential options. The gold gain is slowing down a lot. We're kind of in what I call an upgrade desert, like there's certain points where you have favor, where you'll get to a point where there's just no upgrades coming up that'll help you at all. That's when you know you're coming up to your wall. So I start to run off like this, like just the double up, which is next upgrade. But then when I get near my wall on a new player account, I switch over to this so I can start upgrading more efficiently, basically is what I call it, like efficient upgrades. Because if I were just to throw in gold into whatever... I would have walled like 10, 15, 20 levels ago because I would have upgraded in a suboptimal way. I'm really trying to milk every last gold drop possible here. So I know the next one is going to be Celeste, so I'm just going to go ahead and drop these in so that we know where we're going here. 550 is her upgrade, so... That'll give us, like, it's going to be double damage, so it's not like suddenly we're going to start racing through content again, but... And now, do we have an undead? We got some more, we got undead minions. Do we have an undead boss again? No. Okay, problem. E59 boss. There we go. So I had to spike my butt on the undead, and then ride this fire breath potion through the boss. Giggity. And we're going to run out. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to run out of... Yeah, nope. Nope. Oh, we just slowed down too much. Slowed down too much. All right. So, unfortunately, this is the downside of Minsk as a support. He picks a favorite enemy. We do a lot of damage to that favorite enemy, but not necessarily to other people. And if I go through here, Brunar doesn't get another upgrade until at level 1000. We only have 22 banked, so we're not close to that. Celeste gets a helpful upgrade at 590, so 40, but we only have 4 in the bank. Nayeli needs... No, Nayeli just gets tankier at 395, so we've got nothing visible for a while. Charlax, all we care about is to see piracy. Master of piracy. He's just here for gold find. Well, there's nothing there. Calliope 575. She only has 18 banked levels. Shara would be 250, but we only have 3 banked levels, and we need 15. Again, Minsk would need 310. We're close. We're at 51. We need 60. Hitch has nothing except Ricochet. That's 130 levels away. Makos is at 65, would need 80. And we're at 8. Feels close, but you got to understand, 8 Makos levels is like 50 regular levels. He just scales his upgrades differently for cost. And we need 180 levels for Tyrell, which is just, that's not going to happen, right? So our closest upgrade is Minsk. We fell back off that boss. We failed, but that's fine. So we'll farm some gold here because we would want to farm some gold anyway. That's why we're here. We're up to 266 EO6. Which is up from, we started at EO4. So we've had a couple orders of magnitude of a favor gain. I don't necessarily want to burn any more potions here. We got about 10 minutes that we could farm, which is good. That ended up well because you don't want to farm more than maybe 10, 15 minutes at your wall. And we're pretty much walled. Even if I move us, even if I can get us past that boss, we're still pretty much walled. There's Minsk's next upgrade. This is just going to let us farm faster here. And I'm going to spend a few minutes here and probably... we might... I mean, if we get past that boss, I don't think it's going to help us too much. Like, we're just not... We're still not clearing this super quickly. So we're going to ult. See if that can spike us a bit. It didn't. Trying to speed up our wave clear here. There we go. There it goes. A little faster. Earn gold a little faster. Ultimately, I would like to put it into a Shara. This would give us a triple damage boost. But that's, 11 levels away. And gold is not coming in very quickly. But there's nowhere else I could put gold and get us actual damage except for a Shara right now. Unless, for some reason, we get to 5, 7, 50 bank levels before she gets to 15. Calliope has an upgrade again. I like to use your new player reference on the Reddit. Good stuff. Thank you. I'm glad it's helping. This kind of run is what helps to inform that guide. And let me make changes on it. Changes to it, so... I always wanted an X1000 because for these situations where you need to go more than 100 levels to get to the next decent upgrade or to even see another upgrade, that or just, I've told them before, like, just let me see all the upgrades. When I click on this, show all, not just what's within a few upgrades. Because I want to be able to make good decisions, and I can't if I don't have the information. We're going to see if we can trigger a spike. There we go. Let's see what happens. Can we ride this through this? The T1000 would be killer. Wait. I don't think we call it that. Look, we're going to get it. We're going to get it. Oh, no, I spoke too soon. Oh, look at the damage dribble off. Oh, no, come on. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, my God, we got it. Okay. Oh, so close. I don't know if this is going to be helpful. This is pretty much the same gold as the one we were just on before. I don't know that going further than this level is going to be functional. Okay, so we're at 40 out of 50 here and 10 out of 15 here. So this is scaling a little better. Oh, we spiked. We spiked. Let's ride that spike. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me that gold. This is the joy of fire breath potions, folks. What is her next? It's only a double, so the gold would better be spent on a Shara if it's roughly equal than Calliope, because Calliope's only going to give us a double damage. Calliope or a Shara's going to give us a triple. Oh no, I maybe didn't want to do that. Oh no, yeah, we're into flying beasts. No, let's go back one. Let's stay here with undead. Let's stay here in the friendly undead place. I've only been playing a few days, but the game feels so much like a strategy game than I don't want. Yeah, it's a formation strategy management game, right? It just has idle aspects to it. Maybe not when you're first starting out. Like, I can't go super idle in this gameplay right now. But as you get more familiars and as you get unlock your first Modron core, things become more hands-off, more automated. I'm just going to go ahead and dump it in here, because this is going to be the more efficient place to put the gold. How much time we got? 5 minutes, and then this push is done. So once the potions fall off, yeah, we're done. We can't keep really going. Well, it's going to slow down. The speed bonus will go away. The click damage will go away. I could always spend a 15-minute one. We might, but we wouldn't. It would slow down a little bit, which is inefficient. I would rather get into the next run and do another deep run for favor while completing an adventure that we need to complete than just doing a free play farm. Go, come on. And get every little distraction so we can just get as much money as possible. Spiker bud. A little bit. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's it. You know what? Now we'll clear the next level. Yeah, see? Look at that. Look at that go. Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah. Okay, next upgrade is going to go to Calliope. And that's probably going to be it. Most active idle game you ever played? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Again, because, you know, idle may be in the name, but it's not an idle game. Not really. 187. Back to 187. With that bud spike. And it's dead. And it's dead. Unfortunate. Just can't make the money. I need 15 more levels over here, and I just can't get there. Go, can we spike again? We can. Get us through. Okay, I'll take the gold from that. And then it slows down. Oh, that's the boss. Never mind. Sorry, sir, didn't see you here. I'll go back over here now. Yeah. So where are we at? 447 EO6. Man, I was really hoping we could milk out EO7, but I think it would take too long. It's not worth the time. We're gonna, because this is just such a much bigger gold find multiplier on our next run. There's no reason to sit here too long. I'm probably actually being a bit inefficient, just waiting like I am. But Blacksmithing contracts first on Humon or Briv? Yes. Yes, Mortsdale. Oh, it's kind of up to you to decide which of the two that you want to put them on, but the answer is yes. That's exactly where you want to use those. Yeah, you know what? Let's do a 5-minute. Let's see if that does that do anything for us. Probably not. Yeah. I think it's good on both. Some people would argue Humon first. I mean, because I put Briv, usually I get Briv first, and it gives me super tank plus speed. Because tanking is a big deal in this game, despite what some people might think. So yeah, either way, those two are, either way they're gonna those blacksmithing contracts on either Humon or Briv are gonna generate, as long as you're using those champions in your formations, they're gonna generate more gems for you, and thus earn you back those contracts and then some. Which reminds me, do I have any? No. Okay. I also do have epics, but I hesitate to put froggies on core champions. Okay, there's the upgrade for Calliope that we were kind of waiting on, and it hasn't really done anything for us. So this is why I was like, eh. Yeah, Briv and Humon are kind of like, you get Briv up to like the last time I did a new player count, I got Briv to 100% chance to skip one area, 20% chance to skip two, and then I moved on to Humon. Now, whether that's the most time efficient order, I don't know. But I like that Briv became a super tank, and I could complete all the content that I attempted because Briv could just soak up the damage. You know, Humon probably would give you more speed. So if you were worried about like, if your main thing was like, I'm fine with my tanking capability and I just want to go through this stuff faster, Humon might be the better return on investment. But I wanted an infallible tank for early game, and Briv delivered. The game from item levels for blacksmithing, yeah, using blacksmithing contracts on a champion basically means you're just upping their item levels. Yeah. Once you get above, the thing about Briv, yeah, you do need stacks. As your percentage chance goes up, you're using more of the stacks you're earning, and eventually you're going to use all of them in a run. So if you're just churning low level content, like things that you can just blast through, and you're not getting to the point where you're tanking, then Humon would be the better target, because they're always on, right? Their speed effect is always on as long as they're in the front 1 or 2 columns, depending on the length of the formation, right? But if you're going to be pushing deep or doing difficult things, Briv is the better choice. All right, I think we're done here. What are we at? 483 EO6. Yeah, this 5-minute did not do much at all. It's not helping much. See if we can just clear this wave, maybe? Yeah, there we go, there we go. Let's clear off this, and then once it's done killing things, we'll call it. Remember, we started at 143 EO4. We're going to end up in the mid EO6s. That's a solid deep push. I mean, ultimately, it's a solid deep push because I went as far as I could. I upgraded efficiently, and I used potions at the right time, like when I got towards the end. I know it feels like, what, you wasted the time, but like, I would rather use them towards the end and have time left than use them at the beginning and not have them available when I actually need them, which is at the end. So... could have popped off that fire breath later, and that probably would have been better, but still fine. All right, here we go. 494. Oh, I should have stopped and waited for 5, but that's fine. Just no.